Good evening and welcome. I'm Kathy Ankerson, and I'm blessed to serve as the dean of this fine college. I began July 1st, and there's a long history of this college and with all of the disciplines within it, and we're here tonight to celebrate the great accomplishments of those students who are in these front 3 or 4 rows. Graduates, some of you have just completed the university commencement ceremony, and I saw you there, and have your diploma in hand. Others will graduate tomorrow, and others during the August commencement ceremony. We're here this evening to recognize and celebrate each of you, and to recognize 104 bachelor's degrees and 42 graduate and professional degrees that are awarded. We owe much to those who have come before and paved the way for each of us. Our alumni, former faculty, emeriti faculty, and Dean Emeritus Wayne Drummond, who's with us tonight in the balcony waving. So let's give a round of applause for those people. Architecture, design, and planning education today must prepare global citizens who foster synergy, embrace successful collaboration, and recognize interconnectedness with an awareness of the responsibility of individual and collective actions in personal, social, and environmental arenas, and that position graduates with the critical collaborative leadership skills to serve them throughout their careers. You have been prepared to embark on this journey where the decisions you make have the potential to make a profound impact on all people. Every moment of every day, people are affected by decisions in zoning, transportation, urban or rural environments, plazas, views of nature, parks, exterior and interior spaces formed by the built and designed environment. The expression of structure, expression of ideals through large gestures and intimate, intricate design moves. Whether in learning environments, work environments, worship environments, those designed to promote peace or healing, you have the power to profoundly affect people's lives throughout their lifespan. You have the power to affect the earth we live on and the air we breathe. You are poised to recognize and address challenges in creative ways, to embrace change, and to be change agents, to be leaders infused with both the confidence that comes from embedded and discovered knowledge, as well as the wisdom to apply it. To be passionate proponents of the impact of design and planning is a challenge of the highest order. You've not been alone in this journey. We have, each of us, our roles to play in the operations of the college, the delivery of our educational programs, and visioning the future of our collective professions. Our college would not run without the amazing staff support we all benefit from. If you're a staff member and you've seen them around in the college, please stand up and be acknowledged for your role in the success and future of these graduates. Let's give them a hand. Support from your family and friends have laid the foundation and bolstered you during your success, during this process, and your success. Right? If you're a family member or friend of any of these graduates, please stand up and be acknowledged for your role in their success and future. Your professors challenged you and helped you forge a process you can apply to any of life's decisions. I won't call out professors by name, but will all of those here who had a role in teaching these students, please stand up and be acknowledged for your role in their success and future. And now it's time for the program to begin. And we have our student speakers who will lead off. And I don't have a program with me to know who's first. Come on. So we have a prepared presentation.
That's correct, for once.
That is going to represent a whole segment
Yes,
of the student
our
population.
last 4 years, so yes, correct.
Take it away.
All right, great. So yes, my name is Virginia Gormley, and I'm a graduating interior design. And so what is there to say that can properly sum up our last 4 years in the College of Architecture? There are a hefty number of objects, words, feelings, and concepts that have come to define our 4 years here. They break down into various categories, some more serious than others, which give us a clear picture of what it has meant to be an architecture, landscape architecture, and interior design student. First, we have our basic fundamentals: computers, T-squares, pens, pencils, trace paper, basswood, chipboard, you get the picture. Then comes how we sustain ourselves: coffee, fast casual dining, random items from the vending machine that surprisingly taste better than expected, sleeping bags under desks, and Red Bull when we're feeling really gross and desperate. Looking back to our first year, we established our design fundamentals: empathy, research, defining problems, ideation, prototyping, and testing. Then we have the words we use as part of our daily language to express our ideas, and perhaps sometimes make them sound more refined than they are in reality: juxtaposition, vernacular, iconic, facade, sustainability, materiality, typology, parametric, and of course many more. Lastly, there are the words that are difficult to define, the words that are more of a feeling, that inspire each of us to push further and work harder. Curiosity, empathy, exhaustion, accomplishment, innovation, and creativity. We have journeyed through our time here together, learning these objects, words, feelings, and concepts, but perhaps what has come to define our time here most of all is each other. In all seriousness, this college has fostered many of the relationships we hold most dearly in our lives, and introduced us to people that we will honestly consider friends forever. The faculty, staff, and students in the College of Architecture are the most dedicated and passionate people I have ever met. If you ask any one of us graduating from this college why we chose and stuck with our major, I am certain you will hear a myriad of passionate responses, but never a just because, or a to make a lot of money, or a because my parents made me. Our responses are never generic. This genuine dedication is something you do not see in a lot of other places on campus, and is something that will make all of us impactful professionals. So what has design school taught us? It has taught us in ways personally, academically, and professionally. I think in talking and being in class with many of you, our greatest lesson has perhaps been in empathy. Constantly putting yourself in the mindset of others and how they would experience space has been an entirely unique lesson from the College of Architecture. Personally, I have put myself in the mindset of the aging population, of agricultural producers, of archivists, of refugees, and I have seen my classmates design for a wide range of other unique perspectives. Not only does this force us to think beyond our own limited experiences, but it has resulted in an entirely unique education for each one of us. This directly ties into our next big lesson: to always stay curious. Our professors have acted as mentors and guides, pushing us to delve as deeply into our projects as possible. While there are always guidelines and personal subjectivity, our curiosity for various topics is what defines our research and subsequently what we learn and the basis of our projects. This approach has made us knowledgeable about some seemingly random topics. Anytime someone in our families or one of my friends asks us what we are working on, our responses usually surprise them, as they are confused at how interior design, architecture, and landscape architecture start to address these really heavy topics. To us, it is so obvious though. The built environment affects everyone on a daily basis, whether it is a design space or something that has resulted from necessity and basic human problem solving. Design starts to solve problems in creative ways, ways that uniquely combine research and interdisciplinary collaboration. Our curiosity and desire to address these wicked problems in ways that haven't already been done has given us a sincere thirst for knowledge. The last lesson that maybe was the most painful to learn is the value of hard work. A crushing yet exhilarating lesson is that a project is never done. There are always more details to be considered, conceptual ways of thinking, and methods of arranging space. This leads to a constant reworking of projects and long sleepless nights. Students in our college attempt to accomplish in 1 to 4 months what a team of professionals accomplish in years, and has made hard work the norm for all of us. There is no easy way out or quick hack for what we do. We don't have Spark Notes, and we can't quickly memorize something for an hour and then immediately forget it. Our projects directly reflect the time that we've put into them. This honest and public representation of our hard work has made us motivated people who approach every task without fear of the time we will need to spend to accomplish what we want. There are innumerable other lessons that have been instilled in us by the College of Architecture, but 3 seems like a good number, and I have been cheesy for long enough. So we all have had a passionate and challenging relationship with our majors as we've gone through our 4 years here, but looking back, we wouldn't trade it for anything. Our undergrad years will be fiercely missed as they have helped us to start to define these heavy topics, what it means to be empathetic, how to work hard for your accomplishments, and to always stay curious for new solutions and ways of thinking. One last thank you to my classmates in the college, and of course to the faculty and staff who have also acted as our friends and mentors. So cheers to us. It's time to celebrate, my friends.
Hi guys, my name is Caitlin Frankfurter, and I just graduated along with all of these cool people with our Masters of Architecture and Planning. And so I have a short little speech to tell y'all. So I have to be honest with you guys here today. I don't normally listen to these speeches. I find them to be boring and overly sentimental. This is not a jab, Virginia. So I usually tune them out and tend to think of something else. So then, how do I keep your attention if it's not through me delivering profound knowledge and instilling greatness? I mean, I guess I can talk about how much we didn't sleep, or how much we learned, or how far we have come as people. But let's get real. How easy is it to talk about how wonderful all of those things really were? Looking back, I think we can now say that everything was worth it and it was all so wonderful and great, but I think it's more accurate to talk about how terrible these past 6 years were. Now, when I say terrible, I really mean the endearing terror that comes the final week before your critique, and you've calculated that there isn't any possible way that you're gonna get done. Nevertheless, you convince yourself that if you stay awake for an entire week straight, you're magically gonna finish. Then there's the terror that takes over your body when you're sitting in structures class, waiting to receive your test back, and you're figuring that there's no way that, you figured that you would be lucky if you passed, and you're trying to decide if there's any way that you can convince Sharon to give you points back. And then there's the terror that stops you when you're traveling to London for a semester, and apart from the sheer terror of living in the same flat with all of your studio mates, you realize that the conversion rate from US dollars to British pounds is definitely not in your favor, and you've spent all of your 5 months budget in the first month. And you've also realized that you're never gonna meet the Queen in person. Then there's the terror you have when you're a teaching assistant and your student asks you a question and you realize that you can answer it. And maybe for the first time in the past 6 years, you realize that you've actually learned something about architecture and you're able to communicate that knowledge. Or there is the terrible feeling you have in your stomach as you're applying for your first real job and they call you back for an interview, and all you want to do is smile and vomit at the same time. Because it's starting to become real that someone is actually going to pay you to do architecture or planning. But I think the most terrifying thing is realizing that you're going to have to say goodbye to this fam that you've made here. This group of people that have seen you at your ultimate worst moments and will still do anything for you. The fam that will get a beer with you after night class, even though they have a project due tomorrow. The fam that will have arguments with you in public about whether Zaha is great or not, and if parametricism is finally over. My time here has shown me that it has not necessarily been architecture that brought us all together, but it was the fear and terror of architecture that has brought us together. Because I detest being too sentimental, I'm not going to say how wonderful it was and how great it's been to get to know all of you. But what I will say is that it has been a terrible 6 years, and I am terrified of what you're all going to do. Thanks.
Thank you, Virginia and Caitlin. Another round of applause for them. Great. For the first time this year, we're simulcasting this recognition ceremony. And some of you have family members or friends who were not able to join us tonight, who are able to watch this from wherever they reside. So we say hello to all of you who are joining us from afar. Now we have a speaker who I won't build you up too much, Doug. I don't want to take your thunder. But I talked about the people who work together who have worked together to get you where you are today. And the one component of that I left out, waiting for this introduction, was the profession. Professional education is not an island in and of itself. We rely on really important collaboration and partnership with the profession. And those happen in a variety of ways, but the one consistent is that they are integral to design, planning, and architectural education. Our speaker this evening is no stranger to Architecture Hall, nor to the world of practice. In fact, Doug Wignall earned his MArch from UNL in 1992, and from an initial internship at HDR, he is now president. HDR has nearly 10,000 employees in more than 225 locations around the world. So when I say the world of practice, I mean it. Doug is responsible for guiding strategic growth in HDR's healthcare, science and technology, civic, justice, and higher education markets, and he's been instrumental in the expansion into new market segments worldwide and championing the evolution of non-traditional services to keep pace with the challenging and diverse field. Please help me to welcome Doug to the podium.
Wow, I barely recognize who she was talking about. It reminds me of a few months ago I was in a gas station and I was getting ready to go up and pay, and they had a monitor behind the cash register with a camera looking down over, and I was trying to figure out where the fat bald guy was. I kept looking and I couldn't figure it out. So I want to start off by saying that I think we should give at a minimum a round of applause to welcome Kathy back to the university and the college as dean. Welcome back. So when I was driving down here from Omaha, I was contemplating what I would talk to you all about, and I think there's probably two things that I'm going to focus on. One is going to be the potential that you have with the diplomas that you either have or soon will have in your hand. And then the other, I'm going to just give some good career advice on what to expect and how to anticipate things and maybe help you navigate the first few years out of the chute, so to speak. So I want to start off by saying that the degrees that you hold, in my opinion, are the greatest degrees in the world to offer problem solving, right? You all have been trained for years now to solve problems, not only simple problems, but very abstract problems, and most of the problems that you solve actually have multiple answers and multiple solutions. And because of that, if you play your cards right, you can go just about anywhere. Some of you will end up in traditional design practices, being architects and interior designers and land planners. Others will go into places that you never really thought about. And I think that that's all really good, because the universal truth, the one thing that you have to remember for the rest of your lives is that you have one obligation as design professionals, and that is to make sure that design always matters, no matter what you're doing. Always, okay? If I'm dead serious about one thing, it's this, because if you think about it, what you know is visceral, you have it in your gut, you feel it, you do it without almost even thinking. But most people, it isn't that way with them. And you need to make sure that you take it upon yourselves to educate and teach and bring others along to understand that beauty is a necessity for humans to be happy, okay? You have that ability, and you need to do that every day. That should be your one obligation that you never let go of, no matter what you do. I wrote an essay a couple of years ago on the idea of a design professional in a heroic sense, right? Especially in a politically heroic sense. In the history of the US, we have had one architect that's either served in the Senate or the House, and that was a fellow from Vermont in the 1990s, okay? I would like to see design professionals start aspiring to become more engaged in politics. We should be ones that are helping draft legislation instead of ones that are reacting to it or stuck dealing with it, okay? The power of being a designer and have a design-oriented mind in that capacity would be incredible. So I challenge you to think about that as you progress through your career. I think that it's something that is vitally important. And again, it'll make everything better because it'll have design as a solid foundation behind it. So I'm not going to be very long up here because I know you guys all have things that you want to do much more than sit here and listen to people talk. So I'm going to talk about two things. I'm going to talk one about the characteristics and qualities that we look for in employees at HDR, where I'm from, right? So after we review portfolios of work and we come to a conclusion that there's a few people that have really strong portfolios, I look for three very simple qualities in every employee that we hire. And they really need to be in this order, okay? So remember this, because this is a good life lesson for no matter what you do. Quality number one, first and foremost, you have to be nice, okay? You have to be nice. The world needs a lot more nice people, all right? Number one. Number two, you have to be smart. Now, smart means a lot of different things. Some of you are smart with books, some of you have street smarts. Just be smart in the way you make decisions. That's number two. If you're not smart in the way you make decisions, it's going to be tough. And number three, you need to be ambitious, okay? Ambition's fine, just so long as it comes third, not first, right? Simple, nice, smart, ambitious. You do those three things, I think you're going to set a chart for a great life. The other thing I want to talk to you about is a career path, okay? So if you look at raw numbers, I think something like 10,000 baby boomers are retiring every day right now, okay? And they will be probably for the next 4 or 5 years. My generation, the Xers, there are not enough of us to fill all 10,000 of those positions. It's raw numbers, we just don't have enough. So that means something very simple. You will have the opportunity to achieve leadership positions much earlier in your career than any other generation before you. That's a huge responsibility, okay? But it's something that's real, and you're going to see it. And in my practice, we have people that have been there for 5, 6 years that are already starting to take on some pretty serious leadership positions, and that's not unusual at all. So you have that to look forward in front of you. This is the thing you need to remember. A career path does not go like this, okay? You just don't start in the lower left and end up in the upper right. It doesn't work like that. What happens is you start out as a plateau, okay? And then you take a spike, if you're doing things right, and I'll get to that in a second. And then you plateau again, and then you spike, and then you plateau, and you spike, okay? The most important part of that path is not the spike, it's the plateau. Don't forget that, it's really important. That's where you're honing your skills, that's where you're mastering the things that will get you the opportunity to take the next spike, okay? And also, you're all gonna have in your mind's eye as you start out your career, the vision that you see your path go. What's going to happen? It's not an if, it's a when. It happens to all of us, it's happened to me, I'm sure it's happened to every one of these great individuals, is that you don't always take a spike, sometimes you go down, right? Hopefully it's not like a severe drop where that could be really painful. We don't want that. We don't wish that upon anybody. But take notice of those dips, okay? Because those will tell you that maybe you didn't take the time during the plateau to do enough hard work to get the opportunity to take the next step. Or it tells you that maybe the vector that you're on is not the right one. And you need to think about how your skills align with where your career really needs to go. And the last piece, I would say that if you end your career on a really long plateau, that's like the sweetest thing. Because that means that you've got to spend the time to really understand something and master something and reflect on it and teach. That's really cool. So keep that in mind as you progress. You're all going to do great. You're coming into the market at a great time. We're hiring architects. Everyone is, all over the world. We're hiring interior designers all over the world. It's a great time to be in the market. So I wish you the best. Congratulations. I remember when I was sitting there 25 years ago, and I was listening to somebody like me, and I can't remember who it was. So I totally, it's okay. Forget everything I said, it's fine. All right. Congratulations, okay?
We now have a number of awards to give to students, and the first person up for presenting those awards is Program Director of Architecture, Jeff Day.
Good evening. I have the pleasure to begin the awards with the Faculty Achievement Awards in Architecture. And I'm going to call out all names, and if everyone can come up at once for the Faculty Achievement Awards in Architecture. Annabella Gilbert, Madeline Lambert, Mallory Lane, Grant Molinoff, Diane Wen, and Chris Ray. So, please come on up. The next presenter is Lindsay Bott, Director of the Interior Design Program.
Good evening. The representatives for the Interior Design Faculty Achievement Awards this evening are Megan Ediger, Christine Reiners, and Elizabeth Roan. And next to present is Professor of Landscape Architecture, Richard Sutton.
The Faculty Achievement Awards in Landscape Architecture go to Corey Galen and Jennifer Stemmett.
I have a script, so I knew that was coming up. I'm now here to present the Future Practice Awards in Architecture. If everyone could come up at once. Jacob Doyle, Mackenzie Gibbons, Dexter Hansen, Fong Nguyen, and Kristen Schulte. The next presenter is Ross Miller.
Hi, everyone. I also wanted to bring up Jennifer Ankerson. I'm the president of CAFA, and Jennifer is the secretary and treasurer of CAFA. So we will be handing out the CAFA Outstanding Award. Oh, you got it. Okay. Before I say the names, I just want to reiterate that I hope all of you that are graduating continue to support your school as alums, whether that's through teaching or volunteering or financial support. So it's critical. So with that, we're going to go ahead and give out the CAFA Outstanding Awards, and Benjamin Coons for Bachelor of Architecture. The Bachelor of Interior Design goes to Kelsey Christensen. The Bachelor of Landscape Architecture goes to Kenneth Brandel. The Master of Architecture goes to Caitlin Tangerman. And the Master of Community Regional Planning goes to Elizabeth Garrett. And the next speaker is Gordon Schultz.
I am pleased to present the American Institute of Certified Planners Student Award to Colton Burke. The next award is the Nebraska chapter of the American Planning Association Student Award, which goes to Corbin Bogle. But Corbin is not here tonight. He graduated in August, and he's currently working as a city planner in the state of Illinois. But let's give him a round of applause. The next presenter is Richard Sutton, professor of landscape architecture.
I would like to present ASLA, the American Society of Landscape Architect Awards, the Honor Award to Kenneth Brandel, and the Merit Award to Melissa Peterson. Melissa is studying abroad this semester in Germany. The next presenter is Lindsay Bai.
So I'm presenting the Outstanding Capstone Award for seniors in the interior design program, and I just want to give you a bit of background to this award. It was started 2 years ago by Emeriti faculty member and longtime program director Betsy Gabb in order to recognize design excellence in the final senior design studio. Students in this studio are asked to pursue a topic, a site, or a project type that interests them personally and can engage all their skills and knowledge that they've acquired over the last 4 years of their design education. And there was sort of one condition, in that it was to position the interior environment to positively impact a particular community or user group. This year's finalists looked into topics of historic preservation in New Orleans, of health and wellness for military families in Arlington, Virginia. They looked into accessible anthropology in the state of Nebraska. One looked at theoretical methods of space making through photography. Another looked at interactive workplaces for social network communities in Manhattan. And finally, a fitness and rehabilitation center as a catalyst to readapt ConAgra campus here in Omaha. And not here, there, in Omaha, there. But this year's Outstanding Capstone Award goes to Megan Ediger. Next to present is Director Day.
Here to present the ARCC King Student Medal. This is a medal that recognizes excellence in architectural research, and the winner this year is Kristen Schulte. The next award I'm going to present is a new award, the PAC, the Professional Advisory Council of the College of Architecture. It's the College of Architecture Prize. And this is an award that we created with the support of the PAC to recognize collaborative work in the college. So in order to win this prize, students apply as a group relative to a group project that they may have worked on. And they're winning this as, in this case, 3 pairs are winners. We have 2 honorable mentions, Adam Weiss and Alex Moore for a project entitled Off the Rails, Ben Coons and Mallory Lane for the project Funeral Chapel, and then the winner of the award is Robert Grohl and Morgan Roth for the project The Nature Conservancy and Visitors Center. And if whoever's here, come to the front, we'll Some of these students are not graduating today, so that's why they probably aren't here. The next presenter is Professor Mark Hoystad of the Architecture Department.
I have the pleasure of announcing the winners of the Tau Sigma Delta Medal. These recipients have been nominated by the faculty and voted on by their peers. And there's one in each one of the disciplines in the college. In architecture, it goes to Zoe Cope. Interior design, it goes to Chloe Newverth. In landscape architecture, Melissa Peterson, and community and regional planning, Colton Burke. The next presenter is Professor David Carley.
Good evening. Alpha Rho Chi is a national professional fraternity for architecture and the allied arts. And since 1931, the Bronze Medal has recognized graduating students in the categories of leadership, service, and professional merit. It is my pleasure to announce this year's Bronze Medal recipients, Virginia Gormley from the Interior Design Program and Caitlin Tangeman from the Program of Architecture. Next presenter is Director Day.
I knew that was happening. I'm here to award the Henry Adams Medal and Certificate. The medal goes to Caitlin Tangeman, and the certificate to Dexter Hansen. If you could both come to the stage, please. Not so fast, Caitlin. The next and final award of the evening is the Harry F. Cunningham Bronze Medal. This is an award given to a Master of Architecture student based on work completed for the design thesis, which is an option for the final year in the program. Harry F. Cunningham was an architect who took over from Bertram Goodhue when he passed away to finish the state capitol, and in his spare time, Harry Cunningham started the School of Architecture at the University of Nebraska. There are 3 finalists for this award, and I'd like to bring them all to the stage, and then we'll announce the winner. Zoe Cope, Caitlin Catherine Horn, I'm used to calling you Katie, so that just threw me off here, and Caitlin Tangeman. This is a really big award for the college, and I think the finalists, the three, are recognized as being top achievers in this program, the design thesis. And the winner this year, unfortunately there has to only be one, is Zoe Cope.
The time you've been waiting for, when we start to recognize each of the graduates by name. They'll come across, and you'll have a chance to really give them applause and help celebrate. So we're going to start with the Bachelor of Science in Design Architecture, and Tim Himseth will read the names.
Nathan Adams. Omar Al-Mulki. Jonathan Amari. Taylor Bissert. Elena Bodeau. Noel Castro Corona. Andrew Chase. Amina, check. Mason Christensen. Holly Craig. Justin D. Fields. Eric Engler. Annabelle Gilbert. Tyler Howell. Benjamin Coons. Madeline Lambert. Mallory Lane. Christian Lopp. Joshua McCormick.
Thank you.
Kylie Miller. Grant Mellenhoff. Paris Mood. Diane Nugent. Joshua Peterson. Christian Pirouette. Chris Reed. Julia Tabak. Mariah Tobin. Jacob Trail. Wanying Wu. Felipe Franco. These are the Masters of Architecture graduates. Luke Abkus. Travis Barrett. Sean Coffey. Zoe Cope. Jacob Doyle. Alexander Eastman. Caitlin Frankfurter. Mina Gang. Mackenzie Gibbons. Emily Gomes. Xiaoyang Gong. Ethan Greger. Dexter Hansen. Alex Hayden. Catherine Horn. Megan Janisek. Matthew Kreitzer. Zebulon Fund. Nathan Moulds. Abdulrahman Nahas. Fong Nguyen. Anna O'Neill. Brian Perez. Garrett Peterson. Ryan Pleger. Rachel Plowman. Carolina Preciado. Kristen Schulte. Michael Seeger. Steve Severson. Caitlin Tangman. Corey Thiel. Selene Topolovic. Brad Wismiller.
The next group that we'll be recognizing is the Bachelor of Science and Design Interior Design, and Mark Hinchman will be reading the names.
Sarah Barazzi. Kelsey Christensen. Madison Diggs. Megan Ediger. Caitlin. No. Virginia Gormley. Elizabeth Horn. Linnea Lindquist. Aaron Miller. Rebecca McNamee. Kelsey Miller. Kelly Momsen. Catherine Neal. Chloe Newverth. Elizabeth Roan. Kara Romeo. Morgan Ronspies. Christine Santiago. Allison Smith. Kayla Stock. Jessica Svela. TJ von Riesen. Ann Zellner. And coming back to the podium is Richard Sutton.
Kenneth Brandel. Jamie Donnell. Cor Galen. Ashley Gilden. Before you applaud, I also have, in addition to her graduation certificate, a special recognition from the College of Architecture along with the Office of Academic Success and Intercultural Services. Ashley is the first African American graduate of our landscape architecture program. Next is Master of Community and Regional Planning, Rodrigo Contreras.
Always gratifying to get to this moment. Yes, you're done. We have, in total, actually 8. There's 5 that graduated in May and 2 from the summer, but we'll start with the ones in May. Colton Lane Burke. Elizabeth M. Garrett. Xiao Hu. I believe it. Xiao is in the conference at the American Planning Association in New York. Okay, this is Yuan Shui. There were 2 August people that we'll just mention the names: Corbell Bogle and Joshua Crouch. That graduated in the summer.
Let's give another round of applause for all of these graduates. As we conclude, that's a good word, right, for many of you who are sitting here. As we conclude this recognition ceremony, we invite you to Architecture Hall, which is, most of you know, right across the way. where you'll find hors d'oeuvres and drinks on the 3rd floor west. What am I saying? If you're taking the elevator, take 3rd floor W. If you're walking, just go, follow the crowd, which is the barn. And a display of student work is found in the barn as well as the gallery. And let me just orient you to that before you get over there. The South Barn is home to student work of those earning the Bachelor of Science in Design Architecture. The North Barn does student work in the Bachelor of Landscape Architecture and Bachelor of Science in Design Interior Design. And the gallery is home to the Master of Architecture student work. So please make your way to Architecture Hall. Feel free to explore projects, interact with each other, meet each other's families and friends. And thank you for being here tonight in person. And let's give a round of applause for those who have joined us. Thank you for the words of wisdom, for our faculty. Let's go.